From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, April 28th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.37 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,258 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $446. Antiwar.com reports a new study in the Berkeley Technology Law Journal found that traffic on Wikipedia articles considered sensitive or terror-related plummeted drastically in the immediate wake of revelations about broad NSA surveillance of Internet use. This is the latest data to suggest NSA surveillance is having a chilling effect on the behavior of average individuals who are increasingly afraid of reading about perfectly legal topics because they believe it might make them a target of the government. The research is seen particularly likely to aid an ACLU lawsuit by Wikipedia against the NSA and Justice Department, showing that the nonprofit was indeed harmed by the American government's increasingly aggressive surveillance schemes. A study last month from Wayne State University had similarly provided evidence that Americans are increasingly unwilling to express controversial views online if they believe those views are likely to be seen by the government. In 1999, Daryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Daryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. UPI reports America's high school seniors aren't quite making the grade in math and reading. In 2015, the National Assessment of Educational Progress tested about 19,000 students in reading and 13,000 students in math. Only 37% of those students were deemed to be ready for college, according to the NAEP. Terry Mazzani, the chairman of the governing board for the test, said, "This trend of stagnating scores is worrisome. A strong foundation in math and reading is essential to a student being prepared for college academics and for most careers." The biggest decline in reading and math were in the lowest percentile. Mark Snyder, a vice president at the American Institutes for Research, who used to run the government agency that administers NAEP, said, "We're stalled. That's the bottom line. We're not making any progress." For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports former U.S. House Speaker Dennis Hastert, once one of the country's most powerful politicians, was sentenced on Wednesday to 15 months in federal prison for a financial crime related to sexual abuse of high school wrestlers he coached decades ago. U.S. District Court Judge Thomas Durkin called Hastert a serial sex abuser in handing down the sentence, which was longer than the 0 to 6 months recommended by federal prosecutors. Durkin said the sentence would have been even longer if it weren't for Hastert's age and poor health. Hastert is 74. Frail and clinging to a walker, Hastert apologized for sexually abusing boys when he was a teacher and coach in his hometown of Yorkville. Hastert told Durkin at the 2-hour sentencing hearing in federal court in Chicago, "I'm sorry to those I hurt and misled. I wanted to apologize for the boys I mistreated." Hastert, the longest-serving Republican House Speaker in history and a successful international lobbyist who was earning about $75,000 a month, pled guilty last October to the crime of structuring. That involves withdrawing a large sum of cash in small increments to avoid detection. He needed the cash after he reached a secret agreement with one of the 5 sexual abuse victims to pay him $3.5 million in compensation for pain and suffering. The judge said that even though Hastert could not be charged with sex abuse because the statute of limitations had run out, he could take the conduct into consideration at sentencing. Hastert's defense had asked for a probation-only sentence, arguing that shame and humiliation were punishment enough. His portrait has been removed from the Capitol building, the seat of the U.S. Congress, and his alma mater, Wheaton College, stripped his name from a public policy center. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.